I moderate live streams from time to time. The one that made me quit had no viewers, but an active chat. I am a moderator on a well-known streaming platform. I tend to take the jobs that pay the most, and I've gotten used to seeing some pretty fucked up stuff that I had to keep under control. Most of the time, there's just people flashing the camera or doing self-harm or being racist, homophobic, misogynistic, and so on. I also delete harmful things from the chats and make sure stuff isn't escalating. You know the drill. However, I have had some gigs in the past that made me want to quit moderating. I'll probably tell you all about that, but for now I'll focus on this one, since it felt weirdly personal. I had almost decided to quit due to a previous incident I don't feel like getting into right now, but I figured that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and it doesn't hurt to do one more job like that. So that's what I did. The listing said something like, pre-broadcast moderation for internal livestream content. No audience interaction required. That last part mattered. No viewers. That meant I wouldn't have to deal with any trolls or doxers. I was just going to monitor a stream that wasn't public yet. It was part of a delayed broadcast system. My job was to watch the live feed and flag or remove anything that would violate guidelines before it ever reached an audience. Basically, I was cleaning it in real time, so when it aired later, it would already be safe. They were simple, but weirdly specific. Do not pause, rewind, or refresh the stream. Do not take screenshots or record the screen. Do not open the chat history tab. Remove any message that appears to reference future events. That last one really stood out. When I asked about it, the guy running the onboarding just said that sometimes test data gets injected into the chat, and just to remove anything predictive. I thought he meant spoilers, like if the stream was scripted or something. I figured it might be one of those fake haunted house or magic trick live streams, so I didn't really give it a second thought. I was wrong. The stream was boring. Just a fixed camera pointed at a room. Looked like an apartment living room. Couch, coffee table, a door in the back, one lamp on. No movement, and no sound except a faint hum, which I assumed was the fan. The chat panel was empty. I sat there for maybe 20 minutes before anything happened. A message popped up. Door opens soon. I hovered over it. It didn't look like a normal user message, and it had no username, just gray text. I assumed this was the test data they mentioned, so I removed it. About 10 seconds later, the door in the stream opened, then closed again. That reminded me of some scene in a found footage movie where the bad filmmakers are trying to scare us. The empty room was making me uncomfortable as shit. I'd seen a lot of obscure videos on the internet that start with an empty, grainy room. Messages would appear, I'd remove them, and then something in the stream would happen shortly after. Lamp turns off, delete, lamp went out. Something moves behind couch, delete, a shuffle behind the couch. At around the 1 hour mark, I got distracted and didn't delete a message right away. I'm sorry, but when you're staring at an empty room for hours, you tend to go insane. Door opens. I let it sit for a few seconds and nothing happened when, about half a minute later, the door opened. I stopped deleting messages immediately and started timing them. Every single one happened, but always after a delay. I opened a notepad and wrote a few down. The timing wasn't perfectly consistent, but it hovered around the same range, which was like 20 seconds. It kind of dawned upon me that the chat hadn't been reacting to the scripted stream, but it was actually ahead of it. This was supposed to be pre-broadcast, so where the fuck were the messages coming from? And how the fuck were they predicting what was going to happen? I wanted to get mad, but I didn't have anything to get mad at. The instructions had been clear, and nothing weird actually happened. They did tell me the chat was going to be predictive. There wasn't any catch in the listing. I thought it was freaky, and I just wanted to take a picture, so I opened chat history for 2 seconds to do just that. Yeah, I know. It was one of the rules. When I opened it, I expected logs. It was just a long list of messages, all of them describing events. I scrolled. Most were about the room, which was stupid, since there wasn't anything in the fucking room to begin with. Moderator closes chat history. I froze. I hadn't done that yet. Should I? Moderator feels happy they closed chat history. I closed it immediately, then went back to the main view and kept watching. Hands kind of shaking at that point, but I told myself there had to be a technical explanation. Preloaded logs or simulation or something. I didn't rule it out as a prank, because my webcam was always covered so my reaction to it was hidden. Then a new message appeared in the live chat. Moderator checks behind him. I stared at it. Didn't move or delete it. Nothing happened in the stream. The room stayed empty. 10 seconds passed. 20. 30. Then another message appeared. Too late. I turned so fast I almost broke my neck. Nothing was there, of course. Jesus Christ. That's the worst part, right? When nothing's there. I laughed, actually laughed, closed the chat, and went back to the stream. The door was open now, and beyond it, there was a hallway. I hadn't seen a hallway before. It looks at the moderator too. It leaves the room. Slowly, something passed the doorway. Nothing else happened in the stream. No more messages appeared. Everything went still again, and at exactly 4 hours, the system logged me out automatically. I stood up and turned on all the lights, then walked around the house for a bit to shake off the stiffness that was caused obviously by sitting down for so long, and not by anything else. The next night, I checked the notepad file where I'd written the delays. There's a line at the bottom that wasn't mine and read moderator rereads notes. And under it, turns around again. I turned around to see my window, wide open. Yeah, I don't fuck with moderating anymore. My ex made it to my house. I shouldn't have let her. She'll be here in 8 hours. I know how insane that sounds. If I were reading this from someone else's account, I'd probably think they were having a breakdown, or trolling, or both. I wish that were the case. But I need to document this somewhere while I still can, because if what I found today is real, and I'm becoming increasingly certain it is, then there's a very real chance I may not survive the night. My ex-girlfriend moved most of her things out this morning. That part was expected. Things between us had been bad for months. Fighting, paranoia, secrets. Things I kept trying to rationalize because sometimes it's easier to call something stress than admit you may have been sleeping next to something deeply wrong. When I got home from work early, her car was gone. Most of her clothes were, too. At first, I thought that was it. Messy breakup. Ugly ending. Move on. Then I went into the bedroom. There was a Ouija board under our bed. Not shoved there randomly. Placed there. Centered. Candles burned down around it. Symbols carved into the hardwood floor. And sitting directly on the board was a folded note with my name on it. Inside were only 3 words. 8 hours left. I called her immediately. No answer. Texted her. Nothing. Called again. Straight to voicemail. At first, I assumed this was some elaborate scare tactic. Rachel always had an obsession with spiritualism, occult books, energy work. All things I tried very hard to tolerate until I found out just how much of it she'd been hiding. Because after I found the board, I started looking. And the more I found, the worse things became. Hidden in our closet were jars filled with animal teeth. Under the bathroom sink were black candles, bundles of dried herbs, and small bone fragments tied with red thread. Inside attic storage, I found photographs of me sleeping. Dozens of them. Different nights. Different angles. Some taken so close I could see my own breathing. And mixed among them, photos of our dog, Murphy. The dog we thought had run away 2 months ago. I don't think he ran anywhere. By then, I'd already called the police. They came, looked around, treated me like I was overreacting. They said there was no direct threat. They suggested my ex may have simply been emotionally unstable. Then they left. I'm sitting here now, rereading that note, realizing emotional instability probably doesn't explain what I found in the basement. I didn't even know our basement had a locked lower storage section. Rachel apparently did. I found the key taped behind a vent in the laundry room. I really wish I hadn't opened that door. The smell hit me before the stairs ended. Rotting meat, burned hair, damp earth. There was some kind of ritual space down there. A hand-built fire pit. Symbols painted across concrete. Animal remains, or pieces of them. I genuinely don't know how to describe what I saw. Bodies stitched together. Hollowed remains of multiple animals sewn into grotesque shapes that shouldn't have physically held together. Painted green and red. Displayed like offerings. And in the center, another note. He needs to stay home. That was when my phone buzzed. A text from Rachel. The first response all day. It said, "I'll be there in 5 hours." I don't know how to explain the feeling that message gave me. Because suddenly, this wasn't symbolic. This wasn't emotional manipulation. It was a countdown. Something was coming here. And every piece of evidence in this house suggests Rachel knew exactly what that something was. I checked old security footage from our backyard cameras. 2 nights ago, Rachel was outside after midnight, dragging something heavy. At first, I thought it was trash bags. It wasn't. It was Murphy, or what was left of him. I had to stop watching 3 separate times. She dragged him to the basement door like she was completing a chore. Calm. Methodical. At one point, She looked directly into the camera and smiled. I don't know how I missed this before. I don't know what else I've missed. But things escalated even further roughly an hour ago. Emergency alerts started showing up online. Traffic incidents, destroyed fencing, vehicle collisions, reports of something moving unnaturally fast through rural roads and residential areas. Most footage is grainy, blurry, impossible to verify clearly. But enough exists to establish one terrifying fact. Something is moving toward my area. Witnesses describe it as unusually tall, moving on elongated limbs, capable of crossing large distances in seconds, leaving structural damage behind. Authorities haven't confirmed anything publicly, but local scanners are full of panic. And every route being reported leads here. I have stopped trying to figure out whether Rachel is alive. I don't think that matters anymore. What matters is that whatever she invited into our lives, whatever she tied to me, is coming. So now I'm preparing. I've barricaded every first floor entry point, boarded windows, gathered food, water, batteries, knives, tools, anything I can. I've searched every room for more clues. And about 30 minutes ago, hidden inside a compartment in our bedroom closet wall, I found something that may have been my only real chance. A final note. It read, "The ring binds what vows began. To wear it is to become one. To deny it is to be devoured." My engagement ring. The one I gave Rachel. The one she gave back after we ended things. The same ring I drunkenly destroyed months ago because I was angry, bitter, and wanted every memory of us gone. I took a baseball bat to it in the woods behind my friend's property. I don't even know if it still exists. And now, according to every horrifying thing I've uncovered, it may have been the only object capable of stopping whatever is on its way here. So here I am, alone, barricaded in my bedroom, listening to distant sirens, watching emergency lights flicker through boarded windows, and hearing something outside that sounds too heavy to be human. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but if this post suddenly stops updating, then it made it here. If anyone reading this ever finds signs like these, don't ignore them. Don't rationalize them. And if someone leaves you because they've discovered something terrible, pray they never come back. I hear movement downstairs now. Not footsteps. Impact. Wood splintering. Something just hit my front door hard enough to shake the second floor. I'm going to keep this tab open as long as I can. If I survive, I'll update. If I don't let her in. If tonight's stories gave you the chills, don't forget to hit that like button. What do you think happened to the moderator? Tell me your theories in the comments below. For more bone-chilling tales, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a nightmare. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.